Hello everybody, I'm King Grant, and this video is the first in a series of videos that I'm going to be doing called Camelot Take, and this is basically a series of videos where we give our opinion on a particular thing, which is part of and found in both micronations with micronational world and the macronational world, and give you our opinion on what's going on. And so we're starting off with this one on democracy. And the reason we're starting off with democracy is because some micronations that I've been speaking to via Reddit and other such seem to have this thing about how democracy is a bad thing, and honestly, both in the macronational world and the micronational world, one thing that has pissed me off for years is this tunnel view opinion some people have about how there's nothing bad about democracy and nothing good about absolute monarchy, because it's just not true. Most of the micronations out there giving this opinion have never actually lived in a democracy of any kind. And so I'm doing this video to give our take on it. In addition to our opinion on democracy, I'm going to be explaining why New Camelot will never be a democracy. And also asking you guys a couple of questions, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say to what I've said in the comments. Please do comment. I would love to hear what you guys say. Give your opinions as long as it's based on something. As long as you're being polite. Anyway, let's get stuck in. Firstly, things like, what is it important? Let's look at what's important for a nation to have, shall we? Justice, freedom of speech, law and order, medical care. These are all things that you can have without democracy, and that existed long before democracy was invented. Um, in which case, the question is, why do people think that they need to have democracy if they can have these things without democracy? And the answer is simple. They believe that being a democracy means that the people get to have a say in what happens in the country. And that being part of an absolute monarchy or a monarchy without democracy they don't and won't get a say in what happens to them. But it's simply not true. There's what democracy should be, and then there's what democracy normally is. So let's look at how democracies work. A democracy works. Small disclaimer for my American viewers. What I'm about to say about how democracy works very much is based on how democracy in the United Kingdom of Great Britain works currently. In fact, I think the United States has really done a very good job of getting democracy to be what it should be. However, the UK seems to have forgotten what it should be. So, how it works in the UK basically is the people in the country vote for what political party they want to run the country. Now, in a vote, someone has to win and someone has to lose. It's based on chance. So right there is our first evidence. You don't get a say. You're not guaranteed to get a say in what happens. You're guaranteed, or even who runs the country. You're guaranteed the right to have a chance of getting the people that you want to run the country to run the country. Let's say you vote and the party that you're supporting wins. Nine times out of 10, they will make decisions without involving the people. A lot of the time, the government will vote on things on whether or not a law should pass, or whether or not they should stop people in the country from doing things, when a large amount of people in the country have asked them not to do that because they like things the way they are. Additionally, everyone in the entire country is allowed to vote, including the party currently in power. So, members of parliament can literally vote themselves into power. Because at the end of the day, if they are in power, they are going to want to stay in power, and therefore they are going to vote for themselves. So all you're really doing with democracy is increasing the number of people who can take you down the wrong path. And even if you do get a government in power that is the government that you want, that does the things that you want, that manages to do its best for everybody, once they get voted out of power again, another party can just come in and undo all the good work they've done. Now, I'm going to use Scotland as an example. Up here, the roads are in disarray, crime's up, the NHS is in serious trouble, everyone under the sun is striking, teachers, nurses, even janitary staff. Now, our so-called democratically elected government, the Scottish National Party, doesn't care about that. All it cares about is breaking away from England and becoming its own nation. Now, that is simply not going to happen. And it's also against the wishes of the people. They don't care about democracy. What I mean by that? Well, they had a referendum several years back on the understanding that they would not have another one. They lost. The people in Scotland didn't want it. And then they changed who the leader of their party was. And she has been, and they have been obsessed with getting another referendum. For years now. Now, the people of Scotland have said they don't want to separate from the rest of the UK. The UK government has said that Scotland cannot leave the UK. The international courts have said Scotland cannot leave the UK. The United Nations has said if Scotland does manage to leave the UK, they will not recognise it as an independent state. NATO has said that if Scotland were to leave the UK, they would not give Scotland membership in NATO, because right now it's not, Scotland doesn't have membership in NATO. The United Kingdom does. America has said they will not trade with an independent Scotland. The European Union has said they don't want Scotland by itself, they want the rest of, they want the whole of the UK. Now, again, the people have told, the people voted and told the Scottish National Party they don't want to be part of the European Union again. The entire UK voted, including Scotland, on whether or not to leave the European Union, and it was voted that we should. And to top it all, a large amount of members, including the former leader of the SNP, Nicola Sturgeon, were arrested recently. There is still an ongoing police investigation into the SNP's finances. It's emerged that they have not been disclosing any money information, which means they've technically been running the country illegally. And this is what some people claim they'd rather have than democracy. So this is democracy. This is what some people would rather have than monarchy. And another good example, according to the British Constitution, it is forbidden for the government of the United Kingdom to declare martial law under any circumstances. However, they can do all the exact same stuff to the letter as in martial law, and do martial law and get away with it as long as they cause a lockdown instead. Now, let's compare this to New Camelot, our government structure. We are based on the original Camelot that was ruled by King Arthur Pendragon and his Knights of the Round Table. Now, we have made a couple of tweaks, but the basis is the same. Myself, the king, has final say. However, there is also the Round Table, which is a group of nobles who've been selected based on their honour, their behaviour, And they've been selected by me. However, any member of New Camelot, or citizen of New Camelot even, can contact me or a member of the Round Table and ask for a meeting with myself and the Round Table anytime they are unhappy about something. They're not happy about the decision I've made. If they think I'm wrong, they have the right to bring it up. And there are limits on what I can do. I cannot go against the Constitution of the United Kingdom of New Camelot in any way, shape, or form. I have to grant the rights of that Constitution to the people of my nation. And one of the rules on that Constitution states very clearly in no uncertain terms that the King of New Camelot must at all times make his decisions based on what's best for his people and act in the best interests of New Camelot as a whole. The who is in charge, having a say in who is in charge doesn't matter if you don't have a say in the decisions that are made. But no macronation will ever admit that, even though they know it to be true. Just as there is monarchy and absolute monarchy, there is also democracy and absolute democracy. Or if you want, you can call it right wing versus left wing. But at the end of the day, only a nation that allows its people a say in what actually happens, a say in the decisions that are made, has the right to call itself a democracy. So in actual fact, although the Kingdom of New Camelot is an absolute monarchy, we are in fact more of what a democracy should be than most macronational democracies are. Now, do not get me wrong. There have been some very bad absolute monarchies. But at the end of the day, whether it's an absolute monarchy, a democracy, a republic, it's the leaders who are responsible for direction that government takes. Absolute monarchy is not good or bad. It is made good or bad by who is king or queen of that democracy. But most macronations would rather you believe that only democracy is acceptable as a form of government. And the truth is, democracy is little more than dictatorship in a mask. Also, democracy can block evolution, and that's not good for civilization. Civilizations need to evolve, otherwise they don't survive. They need to move on. Government systems need to change from time to time. But in the United Kingdom, Scotland, and England, the system of government we have here has not even been, the people of Britain have not even been asked if they want to change to a different system of government, or if they want the system of government they have completely redone or modified in over 100 years. So guys, think about that. If you did find this video informative, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you next time.